Hello there everyone, this is iMark3 and welcome back to Saving the Fire Nation from the evil ne'er-do-wells who invaded us 3 years ago in Phantom Brigade. Yes, welcome back. Apologies if I sound slightly different compared to recent recordings. That's because, well, one of the earpieces on my headset had been breaking and it finally gave up and snapped, so it's been replaced. So this is a brand new headset, first time recording with it, and we will see how we do. It should be about the same, but among other things, it's got a muffler on the microphone, so we'll see how that picks up and how things go. If there's any errors, my apologies. But yes, welcome back. You can probably see, though, there's been some other changes. We have 4 customized mechs. The Barbatos has been coloured, but we don't have up-to-date parts on it. That's still like using old parts from the start of the game, basically. And Unit 2 Protector has been renamed and adjusted. So, let's do that. But there are other changes. So, let me just zoom in on the longbow. Yep, so this is the longbow in its current form. Looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? Slightly different. Well, that's because this is now a playthrough with mods. Yes, the great and terrible and evil mods. Yes, no, it's got 2 quality of life mods installed, that's it. From Happy Hafer, let me read out the part of the comment, because Happy Hafer remembered what they wanted to say the part before last that was missing, and the second part was mods. Specifically, the workshop has a few quality of life mods that I would recommend. In particular, there is a mod about making your own paint schemes called Livery GUI. Edit mech colours and materials. This mod's a bit finicky, but allows for much greater colours than normal. So yes, the reason why the longbow has been overhauled somewhat, and you can see it's now very much sporting a purple colour scheme with red highlights, is if I go into the paint section, it's got a new livery piece, livery. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. Livery, I think it is. New livery preset saved as HH Custom 1, and I have done that with several other things as well. As we can see, there's a few others in here, just dotted around the place. But this is the amount of stuff it lets us fiddle around with. Now, I can't change which parts of the mech apply each particular thing, so it's always going to have 3 separate colour zones on each part. But I've been able to fine-tune it a bit like this. So we've got the purple on the outside, dark purple inside, red highlights going on the longbow. Let's go ahead and get out of this one, shall we? And we'll go to the Edgelord next, which has been slightly modified. It's got the gold colouring highlight coming over from the rest of the mech onto the black arm as well, because that wasn't a previous combination. And it's got a mix of light red and dark red highlights forming the base coat here. Even got a glowing red eye worked into the head, though admittedly that's also come with the slight drawback of having a red glow on the back around the pilot pod as well, but that's because that's the colour zone that's shared between those 2 points. Yes, for some reason the back is also a part of the head's colour scheme. I do not know why. But yeah, that's the Edgelord in its current shape. Rolling back out into the Barbatos. Blue and green were the only defining description I was given. So blue and green we have, yes. But again, this is kind of how this one is set up. Don't worry, we'll get to the elephant in the room in a minute. Because continuing on, there's another one which is in the workshop. A mod called Organised Workshop adds more categories to the workshop crafting menu that makes things feel much better once you get lots of options. Seriously, why isn't Vanilla Workshop made to sort things like the weapons range or mech weight class? That's most useful information in most cases. Happy for then goes on to say, there are a few more mods I'm using myself, but those change gameplay, and I think you want to show vanilla gameplay, right? Well, I've never specifically said I don't want to show gameplay-based mods, but I tend to record vanilla gameplay for the overwhelming majority of things I record. So yeah, I don't tend to play modded that much, but quality of life mods very much within my wheelhouse. As you can see, heavy, medium, light, all that stuff. So things are kind of split out. I wish I could make an Ajax to go with the Protector, but not just yet. We will do soon. Oh, also I do need to kick a pilot out, don't I? I was saying it was Victor I didn't want, right? Bloodthirsty, Overcritical, and Scout. Well, this one is Soaring through this glass cannon. Yeah, I think it was Victor I was saying I didn't really want to have around with me. But we don't have any alternatives yet. I I don't have a decent close-range fighter to take over Edgelord. So I do need to keep a spare pilot, I think. Oh well, whatever. Let's go on. So, I finally got the customization details for the 4th unit. It is Nameless Mech, the best name for all the most obvious reasons. And it is essentially a Hornet with a dash of White Knight, effectively. So specifically black with yellow highlighting. The right arm and primary weapon are yellow, though in this case they've got some black mixed in, and somehow the hand has turned out white. I don't know why. That it seems to have just blended into the colour palette there. There's no actual white in that paint scheme, but the hand is still white. So, you know, your guess is as good as mine on that one. And then the entire left arm and the shield are to be as pure white as possible. So it's pure glossy white and slightly reflective. I might tone that down partway through the recording. I also found something interesting on the arrow pieces, which is you can actually have the arrow pieces mixed, because notice the shoulders are in black, but the upper arm is in white. So those are 2 separate colour zones on arrow pieces, apparently. So interesting little thing. But yes, this is the Nameless Mech. As it turned out, the loadout that I was asked for was basically kind of what it was doing. So with an SMG, maybe switch up to an assault rifle later, heavy class, shield. So yeah, thank you very much for the details on that one. And they decided the role that the Protector was kind of already kitted out for was the role they wanted the mech to do. So Protector is still very much the wall in front of the team, or the indomitable will behind the team for them to fall back to. So, you know, whichever it is. That said, though, it moves at 17 at this point, so it's not slow and sluggish because of the upgrade to the reactor we gave it last time. Let's move on, shall we? Oh, right, sorry, yeah, the first part of the comment was actually about the pilots. Right. Pilot choice, sharpshooter traits, discussion. Damage focus traits are good for boss battles and taking care of a few but important targets, or units with lots of barrier reserves. Yeah, we ran to one of those last time. While quick focus traits allow near constant firing, especially in combination with water, terrain, and rain, my recommendation is a cooler trait holder as main sharpshooters in its high difficulty battles and later missions have more enemies in general, and dealing a greater number of them is often more useful than killing just one per turn. I like to use the missiles for that, as I can fire them pretty much non-stop in ideal conditions, and that number of shots can't really be stopped. This is true. Many shots is good. I miss the piece of equipment, and I'm not sure why this is the only run that I've not seen it yet, which is the heatsink. But as soon as I get a heatsink, it's going straight onto the longbow. Flat out, just because then it's like, if I don't mind it staying in place, I can overload the reactor to heck, and I don't care. It's just going to keep on firing. It won't blow itself up, and that's the main thing. Anyway, let's move on. I need to get this moving. I've been blathering on for nearly 10 minutes at this point. So we've got 3 targets here. Honestly, I'm thinking the assassination is what I want. So battlefield, mind a short-range weapon, a weapon subsystem, and a rare subsystem. All kind of interesting. The assassination, though, is a backpack. We are short of backpacks right now. A short-range weapon and a unit core. We need those for upgrades, specifically. But I've also realized we've only got 1 hope. So I basically I can mess up once, and then I won't have any bonuses when I do a rest stop. And any further than that, I'll start to get penalties, I think. So I want some more freedom to choose with that. So I think Liberation, a +2. I'm not going to play optimally, which would be to go to +1s exclusively until I have 1 pip left to get, because this one gives me camp supplies, hope, and a subsystem. Yes, it's level 2. It's also a Liberation, so minimize damage to civilian structures. Actually, that makes me kind of leery to maybe do it. Let's hit the assassination first, and then we'll swing back to that. Yeah, because all our units are in good condition right now. We've got some fatigue on our sharpshooters, but we can still field a full team right now, because everyone else is golden. Sharpshooters, I can deploy 1, Whiskey and Victor once each. So yeah, let's do that. Assassination is what we're going to do. Yes, and overdrive. 80, 90. There we go. What do we got? 2 on-site contacts. Enemy squads already in present. We've got an elite. Oh, right, sorry, an update dropped since the last time I recorded too. So we get more details about things like on-site contacts in this case. We've got an elite, a high-ranking contended pilot, a well-equipped mech, 1 unit, and then we've got 3, it says, chargers, light close quarters combat units. And then the reinforcement incoming with 2 strikers, all-round squads, medium range and armour, it claims. So yeah, we get a bit more detail on these things. Anything else you need to know about on here? Bodies of water in the vicinity that can be entered to increase heat dissipation, enabling more frequent attacks, though they also slow mechs down, I believe, too, so we're going to just keep on with that. Let's suit up and get ready. I need to turn down my headset volume slightly. Hang on. Okay, that's a bit better. Right. Let's see, we've got these 3, and we are bringing in the Barbatos. That's the other reason I didn't go straight into Liberation, because the Barbatos is carrying a heavy machine gun and a missile launcher. But I want the Barbatos to be fully active, ideally. So let's see. Tango, the sharpshooter, is going in the mech. That's okay. Tango is the one I kind of want to hold on to. I think. I want to check my pilot stats. Let's see. Yeah, Tango's the one I want. Victor's the one I'm not really... Well, the thing is they both have cooling on them, but Victor's scout versus Tango's glass cannon. You know? Over-specialise to the point where it doesn't take any kind of incoming damage to cause problems. That sounds about right. Let's go back to the briefing and let us proceed. Now, one thing worth noting, of course, is since I'm going in with 4 mechs, the experience points being gained by my pilot team has now been cut in half, since 100% XP since we've got all 4. 200% if you only have 3. But we're going to get the Barbatos in there, so we are going to be causing a lot of rapid trouble. Also, admittedly, though, this is going to complicate my planning phases a bit more because I've got 4 units to plan instead of 3. I also have to try to work out how I'm going to deal with the machine gun. I have never actually used a unit of my own with a machine gun in this game. In the meantime, though, assassination, we are going to be running across the open fields to get our target, it seems. I don't think that shield is glowing. Anyway, this is our first assassination. Target in sight. Deal with the escort first, or strike immediately. Be ready to anything. Don't let it get away. Let us go ahead and proceed. Actually, have we already done an assassination before? No, I've done some in test games, but I don't think I've done one here. But we've got a special unit here. He's on a separate team because, you know, elite unit. But he is moving forward very aggressively. So he's actually going to be running kind of hot. He's also fully equipped with arrows, apart from the shield. So he's got a lot of onboard barriers to cushion him. That's not so good. Once again, enemy units are coming in with their sidearms equipped. So I feel like that sector rule has been ignored or broken in some way. And then this guy's just got an SMG. Oh, this guy's got 2 SMGs. Okay, right. Now, they're both going to park there, actually, like very close to me, so I feel like I should be going forward to say hello. In particular, Edgelord, you are going to go forward and say hello. In a very, very aggressive manner. Who am I kidding? They're all going to be aggressive. Okay, maybe this is being a bit too reckless with the edgelord, but you know, we'll see how it goes. So, dash forward, plink off a shot while we've got a line of sight there, and then because there's of the timing and the fact that the predictor model doesn't seem to do anything about cooling, so we don't know how much benefit we'll get from being in the river. Rather than misfiring again, because to safely fire, it would be when the edgelord is in the middle of getting over or will be in the way, we're having the longbow move on. Nameless is just getting forward into position and is well positioned to try and get into assist or divert attention. It's just over the hill. Edgelord, as you can see, very aggressively pushing forward, getting close, and then while the enemy is really close together, there is a dash which only just should hit both of these guys, but they don't quite finish their movement close enough together for me to get them both equally, so it's like getting there is the only chance I've got to hit them both with it. So that's what I've gone for. And then Barbatos is pushing up again with a dash, move forward, and then it's plinking away a couple of times with the single shot missiles on the nearest target, because quite simply it doesn't really have the angle or window of attack to deploy the machine gun. And that's basically what's happening there, and we'll see how all this goes. Let's go ahead and get an angle from this direction here, and that's the button to do it, and let us proceed. Everything going forward. Sniper shot come through. Missiles. Hit them both with the melee attack there, as you can see. And then everything else is getting into position. So let's go ahead and have a look-see at what happened. Sniper shot to there. It says it deflected, but we saw the impacts. You see there's an impact mark there, so inaccuracy in that. But the edgelord getting hits on both of them. That's not too bad. And we've got two missiles flailing around like plastic bags in the wind. If you catch that reference, good for you. You like someone who does good videos. So, let's see now. What are they doing? You are going to be attacking, of course, the Barbatos. Yes. The Barbatos is potentially about to be in the middle of a collision too. That is something that can't really be avoided, but the Barbatos will be backing off a little bit. And your second attack is against what exactly? And which unit is this? This is... Oh, this is this guy. Oh, he's actually shooting at the longbow with 0% accuracy. Sure, okay. This one is doing this. Like, opening fire on... Yes. Okay. Now we can also check, these guys, as you see, they've both got no barriers, and they've taken modest damage to all sections, so that is all good. The tank is pushing forward and will be attacking Edgelord. Okay, yep, Edgelord is a massive quacking target right now. And the enemy commander is also pushing and will be attacking also Edgelord. Yeah, so Edgelord is actually in potentially a fair bit of trouble here. That's okay though, we just need to, well, most of this can be dodged by getting the Edgelord back into this cover here. The problem is going to be getting Edgelord away from this guy who is planning to do nasty things. And odds are Edgelord might get shot in the back a little bit. I just have to be careful about that. Yeah, that's all I need to do. So let's see what we can work out. Okay, we have the planning set, and we are doing the dance just a tiny bit, just to see how we do. There is something that might become relevant quite soon, but isn't quite relevant now, which is the third part to Happy Infant's comment. On the topics from this video, starting with a reminder that multiple of your pilots have skills you can use mid-battle, like your defender having bullet deflection skill, which will allow you to ignore fire from the right weapon types, which is true, I actually popped it twice. Or the engineer's skill to repair your shield a few times during planned phases. Limited charges, but super useful if used right. You should really try to remember to use them more often. You did use the bullet deflection skill once, but you could have used more. I get that keeping some charge in reserve is tactically sound planning, but they are still left over at the end. It feels more like Elixir Syndrome. Yes, I agree. Elixir Syndrome, by the way, is... I think it's comes from Final Fantasy series. Basically, you get potions and elixirs and ammo. It's like, I won't use them all just in case. You go on and go and you've got the reserve, and it's like, oh, that was the final boss. Oh, the game's over. I have 500 odd spare C4 charges or whatever still in my inventory that I never actually used. Oopsie. And yes, I do admit to having fallen into that trap multiple times in the past. On particular note, though, this time. Last time out, only 2 of my pilots actually had charges, and that was Sierra with the mech repair skill, and it was Kilo with the deflection charge on the armor. Last time around, Sierra's was an edgelord and didn't actually get damaged at all, so there's no point in using the repair on that. I don't know if it can repair existing frame damage, but it took no actual hits during the fight itself, so therefore it took no damage that way. Kilo, I actually did pop deflection twice there, so I used both charges, but only one of them was really taking damage. The other one actually managed to evade it, so it wasn't really obvious. Though that said, there is also something else that I spotted during my capture of the replay for this turn just gone, which I wish to draw attention to. So, here we go. Now, you remember the odd bullet path taken by the sniper shot when it was attacking these guys? Something else in the patch notes, which specifically was updated in the last day or so, roughly, as a time of recording, is when you dash, like, oh look, that mech just dashed. When you dash, you actually start deflecting bullets. So dashing is a way to prevent incoming damage if you dash at the right time. In this case, the sniper shot hit while my target was dashing, and therefore it got deflected and didn't do anything. It's just that it doesn't quite show it there with its collision. So that's what happened there. Also another side note, which is something else, I'm not quite sure what torso those guys have got. But if we look over here, this guy has got something really chunky going on. I don't recognise this torso type at all these arms, now that I'm looking at them, or those legs. I do not know those. Oh game, do you tell us the details on these? Oh, the Elite is equipped with Blackbird series parts. Interesting. Let's check the blurb on that. Experimental arm with above average protection via shaped deflection surfaces. Weak to modern targeting software in close combat. Unknown if a full body set exists. Well, obviously it does. As only partial designs have ever been cited. And yet we see one with a blue left arm, of all things, and the rest is all green, and it's all Blackbird. Huh. Okay. As for the other guys, what do they have? Because I'm not quite sure about them. Well, the Nox, those I knew. Left arm, upper body. Oh, so that is actually a Nox body, a light one. That's why I didn't recognise it, because I've only had medium and heavy so far. I've not had a light Nox part in this particular playthrough yet. Okay, anyway, back to what people are doing. Surprise, surprise, Longbow is shooting, taking a couple of pot shots at that enemy there. So the one that is carrying twin SMGs is getting fired by the sniper. I am moving Kilo forward and dumping SMG shots into both the enemies, and then I'm pushing the heat a little bit here. Might scorch the plating a tiny bit at the end there because it's not quite fully cooled off, to dump a shot straight into the side of this tank as it moves up. Okay. The least active this time is going to be actually Edgelord, who is retreating hard, but also using that pistol to orient so that it's not going to get shot in the back as it does this maneuver here. And then another shot there, and then it's going to be safely hidden behind cover. Actually, I should give you a wait command and point you this way, just in case, but yep. And that's mainly because it's back here so they can cool down more than anything else. But I think I will tell it to move up right at the end of the turn there so that it's in a slightly better position for that. So that's it is under attack at that point, so no. Okay, and then the problem child, and this is part of why I've not used the heavy machine gun before, is the Barbatos. Moves up and then massive attack. It's actually gunning at both of these mechs because they are both in a line straight from it, so this one is going to take the bulk of it, but some shots might get past it to hit the one behind. So, you know, they're going to do that. But the problem is this, 2.5 second attack window. Half of my turn for the Barbatos is just unloading that machine gun. So, you know, either it's going to go well or it's going to go really, really poorly. We do not know which, but we'll have to see what happens to these mechs here. I've got to remember, these guys are relatively lightly armoured, and there's no sign yet of the reinforcements coming in. So, let's go ahead and execute. Snipe like there. Cover. There's the machine gun fire. Missing massively. And apparently something happened there. I'm not sure what. Let's see. Yep, that hill's eating all the bullets that I thought it would. Sniper shot there. I think something broke there, I think an arm. Okay. The SMG is doing wonderful things, but that is my main SMG there, the most powerful one I've got. Actually, did the defender just take a hit from our sniper? Kind of. I think I mistimed it slightly. Yes, there's a smack strike there. So yeah, I think unfortunately I moved the kilo slightly too early and it took a sniper shot in the back. Yes, it did. Okay, right. Other things though, this is why I've not used that one-shot missile system. The missiles are still actually coming in. And one of them even missed outright. But they didn't hit until most of the way through this turn. They just have a really slow travel time on them. So, let's see. Kilo, what state are you in? Oh dear, that back shot took away a big chunk of health. And most of the durability on the legs. Whoops. And to top it off, it's also going to overheat. That is not good. Okay, so I'm going to have to figure out what to do with Kilo, but Kilo is not... shouldn't have danced quite so hard in front of the sniper rifle, but that's okay. The enemy mech is, again, moving in and doing fun things, so I think, safe to say, Kilo, this turn you are going to be popping your pulse fields, one charge of it, there we go. Sierra's in the edgelord. The edgelord is absolutely fine. So the enemies are moving around a bit there, but if I can get edgelord into position like around here, yeah, about here, then I can just melee straight in. So yeah, I'm going to hit both these mechs again. This tank is actually about to eject, so I can ignore it if I'm so inclined. The enemy VIP is going after edgelord while edgelord is behind cover, and then it's going to attack Nameless. That's okay. And the accuracy on Barbatos was amazing. The machine gun is inherently inaccurate though. But if we look, the enemies are actually pretty bad state after all the shots they've absorbed there. It's just I happened to shoot one of my own guys too. Okay, let me just go ahead and plot this out and we will sort things out from there. Hey. I need to be a lot more careful with that sniper rifle, but they happen to cross paths at the wrong moment. Alright, battle is joined. So, longbow is, again, relatively simple. Stay back. Taking shots now at our primary target, the elite. Bang, move, bang. So, repositioning there. Something can fire, but shouldn't be too much. Protector is backing up very carefully, using shield to block the incoming damage. And then shielding again. Got to remember we have also procced a pulse field to help mitigate incoming damage too. But very much on the defensive, but also to let the mech cool down a bit, because it maxed out its temperature briefly. And then it's moving into position to start a hard chase on the elite, should it start to disengage. The thing is, it's not quite close enough there to actually be ready, but also because I'm not sure 100% if I'm going to knock out both my other targets in this one. So, third unit, the Barbatos, is once again engaging. It's dashing forward to get in position. The attack animation for the machine gun may be very large, but it does fire a lot of shots and it doesn't run that high a temperature. So, moving in and bombarding, then continuing to advance. Got to remember that the Barbatos is underpowered in terms of reactor, so it's my slowest unit by far at the moment. And it's continuing to press the advantage as it gets really close in. Like, as soon as it gets into range of its machine gun, look at that sudden jump in accuracy. 39%, 98% suddenly, when it gets to an appropriate range. So the effective range of the machine gun is actually relatively short from that. But the Barbatos is basically just walking forward and holding down the firing button. The most intricate is, once again, the Edgelord. Having cooled off, pushing in. It's not under threat right now, apart from like some incoming shots right at the start there that the hill should eat. Moving up, melee attack into both of these guys at the back. Remember that this one in particular is about to lose its leg, so this one will probably get knocked over at the very least. While the other one is also fairly heavily battered at this point. And then a coup de grace shot in each of them, one each from the pistol, just in case. But I'm not really sure if this will finish off these two units or not, and the tank I've decided to just ignore, basically. So the tank is just doing what the tank does. And that's my plan for this one. So, the dance is going to be around this area here. Let us see what we see. Oh, the tank actually died. Okay. Melee. Legs. Shots. Something exploded. How are they hitting my makers? You're standing just across the road from them. Some guard you are. Okay. All they give is a proper fight. Don't let them escape to their evac point. So, they're surprised they're getting hit when they're standing there, literally facing us with a shield. Now, the problem is, now they are running, and the predictive mechanism isn't going to keep up with that. Well, let's see. Enemy units. What are the enemy units? This unit is actually going to eject when it recovers. So it's currently it's got 40 hit points. Okay, you're about to go down. Very much. The enemy. Now we've actually got a prediction for the elite, which is going to be shield, open fire on my shielder, and then move again and shield. Though I'm not sure who they're shielding towards. Oh, they're shielding towards my shielder the whole time. Okay, sure. You see, the only other times I've come across an assassination mission like this, where the enemy runs away, it's started going like blocking most of the track here, so I couldn't see the planned actions outside the first second. If I recall, though, that's because I saw ones with a special backpack on, and this unit doesn't have a backpack, so that might be why that's happening. Regardless, that's what's happening to them. You're not doing anything, I can ignore you now. And this one is also critically damaged and also going to eject. Okay, I can... Yeah. I can go for the experience points and damage them X further, or I can just let them eject and ignore them. Yeah. That worked out quite well, honestly. The only bad thing, really, is the angle of attack from the longbow. Now, the fact that the enemy's focused on my defender, on the Nameless, is going to let me just swing them around so that the shield is pointing in completely the wrong direction. That's probably how I'm going to play this. I'm going to move the shielder and the other three will focus the attack. That'll do. Let's double check. Nope, Barbatos is not overheating with what it's doing. Okay, here we go. No sign of the enemy reinforcements, though. So, longbow is just sitting back here, taking one pot shot when the enemy is standing still and ejecting. Nameless is moving in to engage with the good old shield bash, specifically waiting until the enemy shield is dropped and then moving in for a direct collision there. So, you know, that's going to be doing fun things to them. Let's... If I move this back... No, I can't. That's the movement profile. That's okay. But shield will be taking the hits there, moving into collision there, and then that should hopefully knock it down because the enemy won't have the shield up at that point. So my mech will have the advantage in a shield-on-shield clash because my mechs are heavy. Those two are going to escape, but I decided I'm going to go for the experience points versus making these two cheaper to salvage the parts. I'm not going to really try and salvage parts because I want to prioritise the parts off this guy. So, coup de grace, and then one for good measure straight into the back of the primary target. And Barbatos is doing the Barbatos thing of stepping forward and then letting the enemy get clear of Kilo before resuming its bombardment with rapid machine gun fire. So, yes, we'll see what happens here, but basically this is probably going to turn into an overkill situation, but I have no real way to judge how effective the hits are going to be. And oh my gosh, I just looked at the legs on the back of this thing. This thing's legs are about to break. The torso's about to break. I am going to overkill the heck out of this guy. Why is his health so low? Yes. I feel like the shield bash and the coup de grace alone are going to take him out. Yeah, longbow, you maneuver for position, please. Yeah, Barbatos, you cancel your extra attack pattern, please, and actually move up along with... I'll leave the coup de grace in, and I'll leave the shield bash in, and I'll leave that machine gun in. So yeah, okay. Right, massively altered what I'm doing here, but I didn't realise how much damage this guy's already taken. So we'll have to see how he does. Because, remember, we've still got the half an attack coming in from Barbatos as well, though it is coming from the front. So, let us see. Will you go down or will you not? Oh, well, they just climbed on each other and took each other out. Right. Oh, there go the legs. Oh, there goes the torso. Yeah. Good thing I slowed that down. Target down. Well done. Retreat when ready. Okay. So, that was interesting. So yeah, those two, I did the coup de grace shots on them, but they actually just collided and blew themselves up. Right. This guy was walking into the shots there. Very good, very good, very good. The legs held up though, so the shield absorbed most of that, until the points of collision. Bang! There it goes. Down it went. And then the SMG shot following immediately actually overkilled it. So yeah. So that was a total destruction, even though I massively toned down the amount of firepower that was coming into it. Fair enough, fair enough. Right. Okay, so you know those reinforcements that didn't turn up? Turns out they're turning up, it's just that I don't think the game was expecting me to take pot shots at the main enemy quite the way I did. Probably expecting me to hit them, because remember I had that line about like, they actually hit me, some guards you are, and then this is the turn after that, but I just flattened him in a single round. So I don't think it was expecting me to do that. Anyway, we've got incoming. We've got an incoming unit with an assault rifle handgun, and we've got a tank with a machine gun. Multiple units are taking pot shots at the enemy mech as it comes into range of the various weapons. Barbatos is firing, Longbow is firing, and so is Nameless. Edgelord also takes a pot shot. Well, was going to. I actually cancelled that due to heat concerns. Anyway, the only one that doesn't take a pot shot at the mech is actually Edgelord, who is moving in and actually moving towards the tank with a melee attack, which should hit because the tank's on the ground, but planning a melee attack ahead is a bit hit or miss if it actually works or not. Then it's backing off and putting a handgun shot to the side of it. Also, as you can see there, Longbow is launching a missile salvo at the tank as well to try and do something about that too, because it's a bit close for the Longbow to properly engage. And the other thing that's going on is the enemy mech is trying to attack here, but Nameless is doing something about it by stepping forward and then smacking it in the face with the shield, as you do. Plus, then backing off with another SMG attack for good measure. So yes, that should very firmly stop the enemy mech's movement before it can really do much. Exactly how much is going to work though, we will have to wait and see, because of course we're doing things here which will prevent prediction from really working too well. So let us proceed, shall we? There's a collision there. Yep, the tank is confirmed down. The enemy mech isn't looking too good either. And it is not, because it's about to eject. Whoops. Oh well. Got some green arrow parts here. And yeah, it's just critically hit, so it's about to go down. It's got 50 points. I can take the kill, or I can go for the salvage. Honestly, the kill is all I really need. Yeah, that tank is... Let's see, did you actually take the melee hit there? You did. Okay, I wasn't sure if that one was going to connect. Then the missile shots come in, and then the pistol shot goes bang, and that finishes the job. So yeah, there we go. Edgelord got another kill. With a handgun, of all things. Right. And that should about do it. Okay. So... Honestly, I think I want the experience points more than I want to guarantee salvage parts from this guy, because this guy does not have much by way of parts. It's mostly grey or green. And its parts I've unlocked as well, or have had examples of, so it's not anything hard to replace. I'll just go ahead and take the shot, I think. Actually, that replay made me realise something I need to check. So notice how the enemy unit sweeps in here. So bits there. It's very close to the Barbatos, and I think the Barbatos actually gets a hit there. It's just not enough to knock it over. And then, because of the way it's falling, the spray of Barbatos' bullets indicate that Edgelord might have taken a shot as well from the salvo sweeping around, just because of how quickly they came in like that in that Superman dive. So let's have a look. Edgelord, you are lightly damaged, nothing crazy. Okay, Barbatos. Oh ouch! Yeah, Barbatos' lower body has been absolutely wrecked. So Barbatos did take massive collision damage when that guy dropped in basically on top of it. Unfortunately, Barbatos, the only way they could have dodged that really was to use a dash, if I'd realised that was about to happen. Because, remember, Barbatos is poorly equipped, so it is very, very slow. Okay, right. Nothing fancy going here. I'm just going to take a kill shot with Nameless, and we'll just do that. So, hello. No, apparently that wasn't a kill shot. Never mind. It's the same difference. The enemy's gone. I'm not even going to bother to record that final one from different angles either. Actually, you know what? Maybe I will. Let's... Bang, bang, bang. I locked an arm off it, and then it just ejects. Yeah. Also worth noting that the shield looks fine once it's been dinged up a little bit. So it's not got the glow that I thought it might have when it had fresh paint on it. So that shield is okay colour-wise. Let us continue though. And we'll see how much we can get of that new armour type. Now here's the thing. It's all rare parts. I can't scrap them to immediately learn them, but I can potentially put them to use if I can get my hands on them. So let's see. Kilo leveled up. That's all good. Lost some health though. I think I'm going to need the camp supplies after this mission to rest. So there is that. Sierra, unscathed and intact. Very good. You also level up to level 5. Longbow. Yep, you did absolutely fine. And then Barbatos. Yeah, that collision has done nasty things to the Barbatos. Mind you, in the Iron-Blooded Orphans series, the Gundam Barbatos got wrecked pretty frequently. Mikasa was not a very cautious pilot. But this is Barbatos in name only. It is far too slow and vulnerable compared to that. So, oh well. We'll see what we can do. What's that? A bulwark, an active defense. A point defense pack protect the unit from all directions when active. Can intercept incoming projectiles in a small radius around the user. Unit gains status effects when the support device is activated. It comes with 25% integrity and 31% integrity, giving a total of 456 integrity and an integrated barrier. Active for 1.5 seconds. Comes with 10 charges. And generates 95 heat. Ooh, that thing runs hot. But potentially an emergency defensive unit. I don't know, I've never used this thing before. And then the other is a blue shotgun, which would be fine, but I'm not actually using any two-handed shotguns at the moment. Anyway, let's see. Everything from this elite is damaged, but we've got access to potentially those Blackbird pieces, including a blue one. The problem is, because it's all green tier or blue tier, I need to scrap multiples, and even if I scrap both arms, that requires 4 to learn it, so I won't get my hands on the blueprint. So getting my hands on the actual parts is the main thing I can do here. That torso piece, a medium, also goes with a barrier plate, a sidestep, and a standard reactor. Ooh, if I salvage this torso, I get another hot rod reactor, which would let me get the Barbatos up to speed. I'll have to go digging through these piles and see what I can do. This will be a slightly shorter episode, by the by. And that's because this fight took a bit longer than I expected it to. I was trying to get it down to 2 fights, but this 2-star fight happened to have a few extra twists in it, so we can't quite do it. But we should at least get some good salvage. We've got 92 points of salvage to get as well. I think I want that reactor as a priority. I mean, this one comes with a standard reactor of all things. No wonder it was a bit slow on the field. So, salvage you, and that's 40 points already. Let's see what else I can figure out. Okay, after much umming and ahhing, there is not much else I can say regarding what I'm going to pick for parts, because that particular mission gifted us with so much stuff regarding, you know, our core need, which was the fact that the Barbatos is very poorly fitted out. So we've got one of the essentials, which is the hot rod reactor, of course, from that Nox torso that requires 20 points. We've got the majority of the Blackbird parts. I've actually given up on the blue arm, so that let me also make some salvage progress towards the level 2 firewall shield. Sorry, not level 2, a green firewall shield, I should say. This particular shield will probably be better in terms of endurance compared to our existing one, because it's a green tier versus a blue tier, and it's also got 2 things boosting it, one of which is like massive integrity buff there on dense plating. Where's Nameless's shield? Nameless's shield is there. So it's plated for 11%, this one is 35%, so this firewall would be much more durable if we could get our hands on it. The problem is that we just don't have enough points to get everything I want here, so we're having to pick and choose very carefully. In this case, I'm actually giving up on basically all the salvage just to get the parts out, which I will then very fittingly, for the namesake, put on the Barbatos. So yeah, the Barbatos is basically getting configured into most of a Blackbird, of all things. Yeah. This is on brand for the Barbatos Gundam, by the way, because the Barbatos Gundam in the show actually gets refitted over time after every fight, pretty much, with parts salvaged from the enemies it defeated. So this is on brand, at the very least. Anyway, new waypoint Liberation. Yeah, that's still there. We've got a Susar's Demolition over there. Okay. Heavy armor, unit cores, and armor subsystems, along with long-range weapon, uncommon components, rare components, and extra unit cores. Okay. The battlefield stuck around. The Liberation is a new one, which is camp supplies, hope, subsystems, and rare systems. So yeah, that was yeah, that's okay. We've also got access to a couple of random points we can stop at, which I think we will do. I'm not quite sure where we are. Oh, we are here right next to this one, actually. Okay. And as you can see, people are getting fatigued. Right, let's do what should be done, and I guess I'm going to show a bit of customizing on screen here, because this will finish out the video towards my usual runtime. Let's see. Barbatos is going to get extensively reworked. We are going to give it the blackbird legs here. Okay. It's got a barrier plate on there for extra barrier. We should probably transplant that one onto Nameless. It's got the Nox torso, but we've got multiple torsos in here as well, including an arrow heavy torso, where I'm not sure where I picked that one up from, but it is currently oh wait, no, that's the arrow torso I had before. It's just it's got locked in reactor and barrier integration. Right, let's strip these out, put in the Nox part, strip out that all important reactor that I got that Nox for. And then this Barbatos is going to get the Blackbird torso, which is that thing. Not got an ideal thruster, but at the very least I can give it a hot rod. Oh, is that the Charger better? Or is the Standard better? The Standard is better than the hot rod. Am I misremembering parts? I probably am. Let's see, what are you fitted with? You are with a takeoff reactor. Okay, not a hot rod reactor. My bad. Oh, I wish I could have checked. No, I could have checked that in the salvage phase, but I didn't. I assumed the hot rod was the one I wanted. Oh well, that's actually not too bad, all considered. Extra reactors is always good. And this thing going 15 is still an improvement due to the improved legs and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not a loss. It's actually pretty good that I still got that light torso, so I can, I think, fit it to the longbow to increase its mobility a bit. I think I'm going to do this off camera and see, because this is like reconfiguring units, and that's always takes me a bit of monkeying around. I was trying to explain my thought process there, but it wasn't working too well. Let's be honest here. Anyway, primary arm is going to be the Blackbird arm. There we go. So this is most of a Blackbird, as it turns out. Though maybe that Blackbird torso would be better on the Edgelord, because the Edgelord's currently got a heavy torso, which is slowing it down slightly. But it's giving a lot of core durability. A medium torso would probably look quite nice to it. Actually, let's have a look. See what will Edgelord look like? Actually, mind you, that is a perfect head for an Edgelord, isn't it? Because I mean, that would fit quite nicely. Let's be honest. And this is why I've been doing this off camera, this tinkering, because it's like, this will look nice here, this will look nice there. I just second guess myself a bit here, a bit there, a bit everywhere. So yeah, the Edgelord having that edgy helmet and pack would fit very well on brand there for that. You know what? I'll leave it alone until I get comments and feedback suggesting like where you might want to see it. I mean, Barbatos' namesake would use all the salvage parts, but Edgelord I think deserves the headpiece at the very least. And we'll see how that goes. Heavy machine gun I can't say I'm overwhelmed with, but I knew it was going to have some problems with firing angles and things going in. And let's round this out with some objectives, shall we? So province. We're right next to one, there's a couple more. Let's go ahead and go though. Very small village, a cascade transport sits on the outskirts unattended, hear yelling in the distance. Sabotage, enemy regrouping is delayed and plus hope, or show of force, scare the trolls off with a warning Rex and take a look inside. Get a thruster subsystem. I was just saying we're low on hope, we've got 1 hope right now. Delayed enemy regrouping isn't that important right now. I wish it didn't hide the HUD saying how long I've got to regroup. So I think a show of force. I gained a sidestep thruster. Yay! I wanted a reach thruster, not one of them. Anyway, let's go ahead. And we're going to pick up the other 2 just before we round this out. So, because they're in inconvenient places, let's do this. Abandoned conversation. Old tower creaks in the wind overhead. It might be worth searching. Send a group to investigate, or help yourself to some of the scrap 100 basic components. Go and investigate, please. Communication equipment is long gone, but it looks like someone used this site as a makeshift workshop. Your crew discovered a usable subsystem, a pilot pod. A padded pod. 2 mass, but 50% shielding. So this means that the pilots take less injuries. A good fight. And 2 mass isn't going to break any of my loadouts, really. I'll say broadcast tower. Eerily calm, yeah, mobile base picking up too much seismic noise to detect if there are enemies nearby. A bit worrying, isn't it, while pilots are hushed down? Not sure how we should approach this. Poke around, investigate control room, might be more to this tower, or don't linger. Quickly search tower for supplies before heading out. Poke around. Oh, good, right. As you approach, several people emerge bearing arms, but making a show of keeping them lowered. Spot a patch on the jackets, a stylized 3F. Thank God, we've been holding a few days, she says. But past has been sniffing around and we don't have the people to survive a direct assault. If you escort us out of here, it'll give us a chance to restock and regroup. Not so much burnt aside. We have a pilot with us, but since you're the ones with the actual mechs, maybe they'd like to stick with you instead. A new pilot joins us. Enemy regrouping in 15 hours. Very good. We have gained a pilot. Wrong tab. Romeo has joined us. Hey, an interceptor. Are you a good interceptor? Let's see. Fatigue limit -1, but unit speed +4. Okay, mobility increase. Right. And your capstone is second wind. Unit speed +6. Okay, so not a hard-hitting interceptor, but a very fast interceptor. Pilot applies additional armor, plus 40% to body armor, mass +3. Kill recovery, significant portion of health after combat if they score at least 1 enemy kill. So that's going to be pilot health recovered, not mech health. Okay. Feather leap over crits. Overcrit. Critical hits with this pilot are more damaging, but they gain experience slower. That's going to massively slow down this this pilot's growth. And feather leap. When deploying a mech with a lightweight class, this pilot can tune thruster to massively increase the dash distance. Well, actually, no. I was going to say yeah. I'm not putting this in nameless. This is going into edgelord. Feather leap. Light is one of the 2 weight classes that I was told is acceptable for that. Medium or light, so we could turn it down to a light, and then this one will get increased thrust distance, which could be potentially useful. But extra body armor would be a solid way to help preserve the pilot and the units. So, yes. A good pilot pick there. Not a massively damaging one, but an incredibly fast one, which in itself is going to be useful. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. That said though, we are also kind of out of time there, so we've got some bits and pieces. I'm going to, as I said, wait until I get the feedback from you guys regarding, actually what I want to kind of do with feedback from you guys regarding what I should do with the extra parts, what I'm going to put where. So, is the Blackbird piece going to be purely going to the Barbatos? Is it going to be going over to Edgelord, or any particular things like that? Also, remember the paint scheme of things. If anyone wants them tweaked, let me know. Yeah, you can see I've kind of lost the flow there because I've suddenly gone out of order what I would normally do, and it's just like bleh, things have gone off the rails slightly. There was also a comment from Clint, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to attack you in the end there, but we are talking about the Barbatos. This is yours, so let's actually address this one. It's very short. Great vid, can't wait to see what you come up with for the next loadout. I don't really have any alternative options for loadout though for the Barbatos. As I said before, the only alternative I've really got is the snail, and pair that with a gun of some kind. Oh, actually, I just spotted a keyword here. That shotgun we picked up is a heavy shotgun. So Clint, does a heavy shotgun count as a heavy weapon? Yes, the devil's in the details. It's a blue tier shotgun with a composite frame. It is very light. It generates a lot of heat, sadly. So actually, as the way the Barbatos is currently set up, it will overload immediately. But I think that's because the Barbatos doesn't actually have a actually has a standard reactor right now. So yeah, it would overheat in one hit. Never mind. Unless I can find some way to deal with that, it would just immediately overload itself. Very hard. But yeah, that's a good clarifying question though. Does a heavy shotgun count as a heavy weapon? Who knows? But with that thought-provoking question, it is time to end. This has been IMR3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps me, helps the channel. Give me those virtual headbutts I oh so crave. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yeah, that's a reason I don't show me painting and tuning the units on screen. Because I was very quickly second-guessing myself, going back and forth and stuff like that. I literally spent several hours painting those mechs once I got that mod installed. What can I say? I kept tweaking them, just trying to figure out what was going on. Anyway, yeah, see you all later. We do need more hope, actually.